let's do something a little bit different. Let's talk about a great game I picked up back in the day, Mr. Shifty. This was something I saw in a Nintendo Direct in 2017 or maybe even 2016 regarding early upcoming Nintendo Switch titles. This is probably one of the first Nintendo Switch indie games I ever played, if not the first. And it sticks out in my mind as being this very, very inventive, very fun, simplistic action game. And playing it again, playing the first couple of levels again, as you'll see in this footage, it really does hold up pretty well. And it's not a game that I've heard anyone talk about. So I thought I might just release a video talking about it. So Mr. Shifty is an action game where your character, Mr. Shifty, has to climb up a tall building, punching his way through every enemy that stands in his way, avoiding obstacles, avoiding getting shot, and just all around knocking people out of windows. It's very straightforward, but the character has the ability to morph through walls. So the character can kind of dash a short distance in front of him, and he can go through doors. He can go through thin walls, and he can move a little bit faster. He can pick up items and whack enemies with. It's a very straightforward action game, but it's so intense. It's so fast paced. It's a lot of fun to play. It really is. The game keeps introducing new aspects to it that make your very simplistic moveset just be pushed to the test. At this point, you're encountering people with guns for the first time, and guns can insta-kill you. You have a little meter there that will kick in when you get shot, and time will slow down, but that only happens when your meter is completely filled, and that takes a while. Generally speaking, this is a game where one hit, one kill, so you absolutely have to avoid getting your ass handed to you at all costs. Otherwise, you're gonna have to start the area over. And it makes the game just feel incredibly badass. You're not even getting scratched. This guy is going through this army of guys with guns and weapons with his bare hands and his rather simplistic superpower of chasing through walls. And it's incredibly cool. And as the game goes on, you encounter more and more enemies. They throw waves and waves at you. What you're seeing here, where you're taking on 5 or 6 guys a room. That's nothing compared to the stuff you see with guys flooding into rooms and things like that. Oh yes, you have to beat everyone in the room in order to progress. So you have to fight these guys. You can't just sneak past them. Yeah, you can knock doors off their hinges to slam into enemies. Oftentimes you'll find enemies lying in wait for you, and you'll have to get a little bit inventive on how you're gonna get past them. Usually you can phase through a wall, but sometimes you have to use an item or some other thing in the environment to your advantage. It's not always completely clear what you're supposed to do, but you're gonna have to figure it out if you're gonna survive. Look at the way they go flying when you hit them. It's so satisfying. All the guys you took out, and that's just stage 1. Ugh. Yeah, so the game isn't like all that long. It's not all that complicated, and yet like I find myself like really looking back on this one really fondly and really wishing that more people played it. It's just one of those games that I personally really enjoyed right from the moment I saw it. But like it's one that I've never seen anyone talk about. It really is kind of a hidden gem on the Nintendo Switch eShop. Yeah, the plot does not take itself seriously at all. It's not even really a plot. You're just kind of given like a justification for why you're climbing this building. Yeah, and the game constantly throws new things at you. It's not like the same thing over and over again. Like this floor introduces lasers, and they can kill you, but a lot of times you can use them to your advantage, as you'll see as we go through this footage. You see, you encounter the lasers, then you encounter these lasers, which phase out for a brief couple of seconds. You can't get by them. Then you hit the switch. Oh no, they really don't want you getting past that room. They know you're coming. Not the best place to set up an ambush. Yeah, that's a new enemy type, the bulk guy. They won't use guns, but they'll come charging at you, and they take a couple more hits than the standard smaller enemies. I guess they're supposed to be bodyguard type guys. But... most mobs of enemies aren't much of a threat to you unless they can overwhelm you with sheer numbers. They're kind of slow, but that's just the nature of the game. Again, remember, like if you get hit once, it's over. So like you have to go out of your way to try and avoid being surrounded by all these guys, because that is a death sentence. I wonder when I played this how the company like justifies treating their employees like this. Like they're putting their bodyguards in the line of fire of their like deadly lasers. Like are these guys not aware of that, or they can't be? Otherwise they wouldn't risk their lives like this. They must really want to protect this building. Oops, messed that up. And again, the game is pretty forgiving with its checkpoints. Like, it's challenging, but it's not unreasonable. Like, if you die, you'll just end up at the beginning of the room, and you'll have to go through the segment again. It's very... It's a good balance between challenge and, like, accessibility, I think. I think too many games, like, force you to do the same thing over and over and over again. And this is, like, I think a reasonable checkpoint system. While still maintaining its challenge. Yeah, the game basically goes on like this throughout the entire thing. It's not terribly long, maybe a couple of hours, but like it was a fun couple of hours. This is a good way to spend a weekend, I would say. If you're looking for like a game to play this weekend, if you're like waiting for Splatoon 3 to come out, like this is probably a good thing to check out. It shouldn't be that expensive. I would say like I probably paid like $15 for it. Maybe it'd be cheaper than that, but I think it's well worth it. I think it's a fun, inventable action game that just is very, very entertaining to play. Like even though I've already beaten it years and years ago, coming back to it, I had a surprising amount of fun, like getting the footage for this. And honestly, I kind of want to see what comes next. Yeah, so should I play it more on stream? What do you guys think? Let me know in the comments.